Hey guys, so I thought I'd do a little update on where things are at with the cabin. Basically right now we're just sitting in wait mode because I'm waiting to get some more work so we can get the funds to have the lot cleared and then start building and send my plans in to the county to get the permits to do it. So I've drawn out some of the cabin and how things are gonna go for the county. I don't really think they need a lot to go off of. I mean, I've got, you know, my footings and the structure for underneath the cabin. That's it here. So the cabin's gonna sit 4 feet off the ground, and it's gonna be on concrete blocks. It'll be 6x6 posts going down to the ground, and that'll be sitting on concrete blocks, and then the concrete blocks will be sitting on 2x2 pads underground. There'll be gravel underneath the pads, and on the top of the pads we'll have 6x6 beams, and those will come all the way down the cabin and extend out over the front where the front deck is going to go. So the whole thing will be decked. It'll be decked all the way around the whole thing. But this is the cab showing just the cabin outlay, and this is like the foundation kind of outlay. And I imagine I'm going to have to tie these together with some cross bracing, 6x6 cross bracing. Every probably so many feet, probably end up every 10 feet like these. I think these are 10 feet. Every square is a foot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so these are 10-foot beams. 10, that's 30. And then that, I believe, is a 12-foot beam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12, 13. I think I was going to end up with a 14-foot beam, but then I'd have to cut it back to a 13. I think that's how it's going to end up working there. So yeah, that's showing the beams, and then the beams will be tied together from the back. And this is basically how it would, I don't know if you can see that or not. That's how it would look right there. So you'll have the beams on the top, and then the posts come down, and there's support coming off each side of them. They sit on the ground on pads right there. Because it's going to have a basement in it. I'm going to put a basement in it. So that's why I'm going 4 feet off the ground. And that's where all our water storage is going to be, and all our components, major components like water filtration, and I'll have the tanks down there, and the wood stove will have a room down there. The wall, anything to do with the water is going to be kept away from where the wood stove is, because I don't want it to heat it up too much. So it'll be a separate room, and that room will be insulated away from it. To a point, I'll be letting a little bit of warm air go into there, because I don't want anything to ever freeze up, obviously. But the whole basement going around at 4 feet will be all insulated too as well. Insulation, vapor barrier, and stuff like that. So it'll keep everything nice and warm underneath the floor. And this is our roof truss. I'm having an engineer company, a truss company, build these guys. And I wanted them build so that there's a king plate on top of the posts, and this is the overhang over the deck. There's a 4-foot overhang off the deck. And here's our basic kind of layout of what we're doing for the cabin. It's basically the same thing I draw it on the ground in that video I made about the cabin layout. So, and the whole cabin is going to run on, we're going to run it on solar and battery and generators. I might end up getting a wind turbine potentially down the road for wintertime. because I think that would help. So, and here's our, this is our grid for, the camera just went up there, so give me a second. There. So that's the floor grid structure, and you can see the deck wraps all the way around it. Which way am I looking here? Yeah, so these lines right here are the cabin, and then this outer rim here is the deck that wraps all the way around it. And this is all the floor truss, and this is our beams underneath there. So that's how that looks. The county really basically only wants to see like basic drawings of the structure to issue permits, so this is what I'm getting them ready. So that one and this has all the dimensions of each room and everything on it as well. So, and it's just a 1-bedroom cabin, 1 bath with an office. Pretty simple, kind of pretty simple layout, but the design of it is going to look pretty cool. It's very much going to look cool because there's glass walls. The whole front face of it is glass wall, and then the opposite side is glass wall, and then the bathroom has a glass wall, and the bedroom has a glass wall, and they're glass walls with patio doors in them. So it's probably going to be a challenge to find somebody that's going to be able to build them, or get the glass, even get the glass for it. Like, I could probably build them myself out of structural steel and weld it all together. But even getting the glass cut, it may be difficult. I haven't really looked at it yet because I feel like that's kind of jumping too far ahead. So I want to get the first things going, the ball rolling on the first things, which is get more work and get more funds and get the ground cleared first. We need to go and get another top for the septic tank because the tree crushed the last one. So we need to get that done, get the hole dug, get the tank in the ground. Need to get an engineer out here to do that layout. Cost on that is about $1,800 for the septic, to do the actual engineering for the septic, and then I think he will stamp off on the drawings too as well for the county. I think that's what he does. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what he does. And then we can. Once we have the ground cleared, then I can get the gravel down and start placing where each pad is going to go, because there's 18 pads. I think there's 18 pads for just the cabin. And if I end up not being able to suspend all of the deck, because this whole deck, I don't know if I'm going to be able to suspend all of it. I'm still thinking I may be able to suspend the portion across the back here, because there's no like the part that's overlooking the creek. I think that I'm going to be able to suspend because there's going to be no structural load on that. There's going to be no weight on it. But I think coming around the corner, like let's say this area here, this is going to be under, like there's ground underneath that, right? So I can actually put supports here from the ground down, and I'll need supports for the roof truss anyway, because the roof truss is going to overhang the whole deck mostly. So the roof truss, let's say the roof truss, it comes out, it's about 2 feet, so it should be somewhere around there, and then it'll be the whole front of this, and then it'll cover all of this. So it'll cover all of this and that with the roof truss. And then only 2 feet of this back part on the deck will be covered by roof truss. So because the roof truss comes out this way, I'm going to have to put LVLs or 6x6 posts out this way from the top of each wall, so that the roof truss can sit on that. And then I'll probably have to put a post, 6x6 post down to the ground, or to the deck, or down through the deck and all the way to the ground. That might be the option there too as well. I'm gonna play that out while I'm building it, to see where that post is actually gonna land. It'll be right on the corner. I know that it'll be on the corner. But if it works out the way I think it might work out, then that post may be able to come down and sit right on this structural beam, because I may have to move these out a little further. I got them set as like a foot to 18 inches, but I may have to move these out a little further, closer to the edge, which then that post coming down from the roof could sit on this beam, this 6x6 beam, and then we can go from that 6x6 beam down to the ground with another post, and then have that sit on blocks on top of gravel there. So that may be how that will go, because I need support for the overhang on this part of the roof, because there's no other support for it. There's no exterior walls there, right? So I need to bring, let me see if I can quickly draw what I'm talking about. Make it easier to explain. So we got our room. Hey guys, I don't know if you can see me or not. There we go. So it's raining like crazy outside today. There's not much we can do outside, so I thought I'd make a little video inside and let you guys know how things are going with the business side of things. The company, my insulation drywall company, AB Insulation Ltd. We had a few jobs over the winter that kept us going throughout the winter. We're very grateful for those. During the spring, I've been pricing lots of work. A couple of bigger projects. We priced one out of the city that is 30 units. And those are all duplexes, and that was a drywall and taping job we priced those for. I also priced a building in Truro to insulate. That was all just labor work. I priced also a 3-plex in Truro and a 4-plex in Truro, and in Elmsdale, I think it's called Elmsdale, I priced a house down there as well. So I think I'm not sure what the exact number is of what I have quoted out, but it's got to be, I'll have to look it up here. Just give me a minute, see if I can find it. I'll have to go into my emails. I'm just firing this computer up, so bear with me here. These glasses are ruined. They're scratched to heck and stained up. $1,000 for glasses, and they barely last 2 years. Get through the slow startup. Okay. So move this over to here so I can see it a little better. I hate wearing glasses. I really, really do. I do not like wearing glasses at all. I only need them to read, or to see anything on the computer properly. Other than that, I don't really need them, and I shouldn't be wearing them. But I definitely need them for the computer, and even these are not that great, so I tend to use these Walmart ones that are like magnifying glasses. They look horrible, but it does work. So I'll probably throw those on. There we go. That's like a magnifying glass. They look awful, but that's what I have to deal with right now until I can get new glasses. Okay, so let's go into Outlook. So many pop-up things. It's crazy. Am I even going to be able to sign in? There we go. Okay. So let's go into my sent items, because that's where all the quotes are going to be sent. I'm just going to give you a total of what I've priced so far so far throughout like the spring. And this is all work that's like, it hasn't been confirmed. Some has been confirmed, like the threeplex in Turo that went to a competitor. The house in Elmsdale. Last I spoke from him, he hadn't made a decision yet, so I don't know if they're going to let me know if they've made the decision or if they went with somebody else. I'd prefer it if they did just shoot me a quick text and be like, "Hey, thanks for the quote, James, but we're going with somebody else." Then I can like mentally just take that right off of my potential list for work, right? It's so easy just to shoot somebody a text or a quick little email and be like, "Hey, could you? We appreciate your quote, but we're going with somebody else." No problem. Not a problem. No problem. Then I can move on to pursuing other things, right? So that guy hasn't gotten back to me yet. And none of the other jobs that I've quoted have gotten back to me either yet. So let's see what we've got here. What is this? Is this a quote from me or is that from somebody else? Okay, that's just never mind. That's just an estimate for the flooring, or the truss for the flooring. Okay, so this particular client here, we priced a fourplex for them on Yonge Street, and what was that one worth? Let's see what it opens up to. So we're waiting to hear back from this one. And this quote was for $47,946. So I'll enter that in there. I just want to get a tally of how the value of what I've quoted so far this year. So 47994,946 plus. Okay, that's that one. Spotlight, we've done that. That was a duplex we done over the winter. Spotlight Homes. So we got that job and we done that. But that's not on this. That won't be on this year's quoting. That won't be on the quoting for this year. That was on the quoting for the previous year because I had priced it in that year. So it took a year for them to get it already. So we have another one here, and this was the threeplex, I believe. Yeah, this was the threeplex in Truro, and that was priced at $28,516. Plus 28,516. So, and that was the only insulation. We were only doing insulation for that particular building. And that was supply and install on that particular one. And supply and install on the fourplex too as well. So this is the one I know that we didn't get. The guy messaged me and told me that he was going with someone else. So that was good. I thanked him for the opportunity and I appreciate him texting me and letting me know that. And now we're going on to this was that house that I was telling you about. And let's see. That's his plans. Where's his quote? Okay, see the attached quote. Okay, so we'll open that up. So this was a house in Elmsdale, I believe. It was Autumn Way. It's on Autumn Way in Belnan. Belnan, Belnan, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it's a full insulation and drywall package, and also primer and window and door prep, floor preps, all that. So it's like a full package on a fairly good sized house. And I think the board footage is, what was the board footage on that? So I'm not quoting random numbers here. Let's go into Plan Swift and see what board footage was on that one. And it was also fuel costs and all that stuff because it was quite a bit of ways from where I am right now. And it's a month-long project, so it would take about a month to do the job from start to finish. Okay, so Plan Swift open here, and what house is that? And of course, Plan Swift is going to be annoying. There we go. It needs maintenance. I haven't bought the maintenance package for it. Like, I own the program, and every year you have to pay for a maintenance package for the program. So I haven't bought that maintenance package. So it sometimes is a little glitchy or slow to load, which is annoying. There it is. Okay. So I'll just put the house over on the big screen here. So here's Plan Swift. This is my takeoff program, what I use to do all my takeoffs. My product counts, material counts, labor counts, all that stuff is all in here. So I'll go to the report on the house. If for some reason every time when I go into the report, I have to adjust the sizes, the page size. So, and then I'd have to save it and export it as PDF to keep it in that size format. To all pages. Okay, so what was our board count on that? So our board count on that was 16,941 square feet. That was the board count. So that's going to be drywall, mud tape, primer, sanding, all that stuff, all in one kind of package deal, right? And our insulation square footage was 10,256 square feet. And this particular house was all R24, which is much more expensive. So our total price on that project, so our total price down here was $89,259.66, and that was before fuel and stuff like that. So this kind of, I didn't add the fuel into this template like I could have added it into it, but I decided not to. So I just added it to the quote itself. So in the quote, I have it like fuel and stuff like that over here in these line items. It's all like the cardboard. I would have build a ladder system in the attic because he's got quite a deep slope. And if we're going to blow it with cellulose, there's a chance the material could slide. So I usually build a ladder system out of wood, or I'll use the cardboard insulation stops, and that helps stop the material from sliding down the vault. Or you can bat them out too as well, which is another option, but it's a more expensive option to do that. So yeah, we got our floor prep in here for drywall, mud tape, stuff like that. And what that is we cover all the floors in a cardboard papered material, and we secure it to the floor, and that helps protect the floor from any mud tape, dust, and stuff like that. And once the job is all completed and we're done sanding, when we've primed everything out, we go around and we take off all the vapor barrier over the windows and doors and vacuum them all out. And then we go around and we vacuum all their plugs and outlets, vacuum around all the perimeters on the floor, and we tear up all the floor prep, the paper floor prep, and roll it up and put it in garbage bags and take all the garbage away. So we take all the garbage away and everything too as well. So there's garbage disposal, disposal of all waste materials and stuff like that. Like that's all included in the pricing for the job. So I really try to go like above and beyond and like offer like a premium package for doing the drywall. I try to go in there when I do insulation and drywall packages and do everything to the point where the client doesn't have to worry about anything. Like they don't have to worry about, the garbages or the waste or vacuuming things up or throwing away waste materials or anything like that. I like to do the entire package, and the client can just relax and, do what the client needs to do their own thing, right? So that's what I really try to do in my drywall pricing is when I do, especially when I do, well, I do it individually too. Even if I do like an insulation package, then everything for the insulation package includes like getting rid of the waste and tidying up every day. And I don't like to have a messy job site every day. I like to take, at the end of the day, I like to take 20 minutes, half an hour or whatever, and go around and pick up any garbage or anything off the floor so it's nice and tidy and kept clean. So I think the clients appreciate that, and I don't mind doing it. I love doing it. That's what I do. So for each package, that's what we do. And for dust control and stuff like that, like I have different things for dust control when it comes to to drywall and taping, because there's generally lots of dust kicked up from sanding and stuff like that. Now I'm trying to get the equipment, and it's a sander, vac sander. It's a Festool vac sander, but the things are so bloody expensive. It's like $7,000 for like the vacuum sander and the vacuum itself and hoses and pads and all that stuff. Like, it's a whole big kit, and it's about $7,000 to buy it. And what it does, and it's got a light around a rim of the sanding head and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it or heard of it or whatnot, but what it does is, while you're standing out a room, it's sucking all the dust into the machine, and sucks it all down into the vac, and stores it all there. So there isn't a whole bunch of like dust, ambient dust in the air. So I'm trying to get one of those. I do want to get one of those. Eventually, I hope to get one of those. I have one and it broke, and I wasn't able to get it fixed, so I got rid of it. So I'm gonna try and get one of those once we the ball starts rolling and the work starts coming in more. So yeah, the insulation, the drywall packages, when we do them together, I try to do everything possible for the client to keep them happy. Like I said, cleaning out outlets, window and door prep, floor prep, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, all that's in there. And then we have our terms and conditions and our contract agreement and stuff like that. And our deposits. My deposits really vary from job to job, or from product to product. It really depends on the product we're using. If we're using all R24 and stuff like that, then I tend to go with if we're doing both insulation and drywall packages, then, and it's an R24 like this particular one, then I can get away with a 30% margin, or a 30% deposit, because by the time we're done the insulation portion, we've already picked up a check for that, and then that kind of rolls into the drywall, and then we can bring in the drywall portion of that job too as well, right? So because how I've worded things in my quotes are I've worded them so that once the deposit is paid, that's our material deposit, and that floats us for the first 2 weeks of the job. So once we start the job on day one, I will supply an invoice for what I believe is going to be completed in 2 weeks. And then that invoice is due in 14 days. So, and that will cover the labor, right? The labor and the materials for that portion of the job. So the deposit really just helps to carry the materials and stuff like that, and keeps us ahead of the ball when it comes to ordering the materials and having things being able to be ready to go, and not have to wait for suppliers or to line up suppliers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So on this particular one, I think I have 30% deposit on that. And that's only because we're doing both insulation and drywall package supplied and installed. And it's what I consider my premium package. It's the most high-end package that I offer. So if I go 9.3, 9.3, 4, 5, 6 times 30%. Yeah, see, I might have messed that up. That's supposed to be 60%. Yeah, so I made a couple of errors on this contract. Human error, I'm just noticing now. but the client didn't actually mention anything about the errors. So, but one under the contract agreement, I didn't put in the address, but the address is over here, so I mean it shouldn't matter. This is all the contract agreement, really. So I didn't put the address in that portion of the agreement. And the deposit amount here, I used to put 30% in, but then I went to 60% for material, especially on R24, because R24 is like incredibly expensive. So the deposit amount is correct. It's just I didn't change the percentage here to 60 instead of 30. I mean, some people like to think I'm a human computer, but I am not. I'm human like everyone else, and I make mistakes. So yeah, but it should be a 60% deposit on there and not 30. So there are 2 errors there. I noticed it here and there. So yeah, my bad. Oh well, moving on. Okay, so that one was 93. Let's go see if I can get back into history on here. What do we have there? Darn it. Should have wrote down that number. What was that? 47. We'll just call it 47 and 28. That's close enough. Clear. So 47,000. 47,000 plus 28,000. Okay. And plus this, which was 93 plus 93. 93,000 plus. Okay, so now we'll go find the next one. Okay, so here's the next one. Oops. This particular one is just a labor job. Yeah, this was just labor job. So this one was 95,000. And this was a commercial job. Plus 95. Okay. And then this one, that one was a drywall job, supplied and installed. And this is a 6-plex in the city. And this particular one is 125 plus 125. 125,000. So that one's 125,000. And this is a whole development. I think they're putting 30 units in this particular project. So this would be the first 6 units of 30. And what do we got here? So this is a warehouse. This was a airport warehouse job, and this was in DeBert, and I'm guessing I'm not getting that job because I've reached out to the guy and on text and tried calling him, and he hasn't gotten back to me, so ghosted me. So would have been nice just to even get a text message back and be like, hey, no, we're going with someone else. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so simple to do. So this one was a $16,000 insulation attic blowing job. It was 5,000 square feet, and that was supplied and installed. So that's another 16. And then, again, this is just jobs we've quoted, not jobs we've gotten yet. Like some I know we haven't gotten, or assuming we haven't gotten, and some I'm still waiting to hear back from. So that one was 16,000. So we're at 404,000 right now. And what else we got here? Did I put that other one in there? Oh, this thing is glitching. Did I put that one in there? Do I got that number? No, I didn't put that one in there. So this one I'm waiting to hear back on too as well. And this is the labor job. I'm really hoping we get this one. This one would be pretty awesome. It's in Truro. So it's I'm really looking forward to doing this job. We got it. So it is all it's all labor though. I'm not making any money on materials. So it's but it's it's work, and I'd still like to do it. So because it's just labor, my deposit's only 20% on this particular job. So this one is 147,000. So we'll go plus 147, and it's a condo building, like it's a big apartment building. I used to do a ton of these in Edmonton every year. I would probably do 4 of these per year back in the day in Edmonton. So I'm actually looking forward to that, doing that. One, because it's all in one spot and I don't have to travel around everywhere. I just go to one spot and just keep working, right? So you can put in hours, good hours, when you know exactly where you're going, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So that one's 47,000, 147,000, and they have other buildings too as well that they're doing. So there might be the potential for other buildings. So we'll see. So I think that's what I have for now. So our total, the total projects that I've quoted so far this year, and that is starting from, when would that be starting from? Yeah. Let's look at the first quote, when that was. I think the first quote would have been that airport job. So that would have been, calendar's not going to open up over there. Okay. What's the third month? March. Yeah, that would have been from March. I think that was March. Right? January, February, March. January, February, March, April. Actually, that would have been from April. Okay, so that would have started. So the start of this particular quoting series that I'm on right now was from the 3rd of April. So from the 3rd of April up until, well, I'm still quoting. I'm still looking for stuff to keep quoting. So I never stop looking for stuff to keep quoting unless I'm like into a big project. The second I get a job, that's, you know, a good sized job, then I just focus on that until that job is done, and then catch the next one that comes in, right? So, but yeah, since April 3rd, I've quoted $551,000 worth of work. So, and we don't know if we got any of that yet. So time will tell. But I thought I'd let you guys know how things are going on the business side of things. Being as that is kind of part of the channel too as well. So once we get it, it will grow, the channel will grow, I'll be able to do the property and just keep the ball rolling, right? So anyways, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.